the issue of declaration of public asset by public officers from director to president in the parastatal to president of Nigeria must be made compulsory and public. So a situation where somebody will declare his asset and say it will not be made public because the law hasn't asked him to do so is not right. There is a moral obligation to do so, but under our watch, it will now become there will be a legal obligation to make it public. And not just that, we said that that declaration will be reviewed every year for as long as we're in office. So Nigerians will follow your growth of assets to see whether it's in consonance.
Okay, so you don't think, as it is now, where you declare to the Code of Conduct Bureau and anybody can access it there, it's not sufficient?
No, it's not sufficient because you have to state it publicly. That is what we are coming up with. We're also saying that what you call security vote must be tied strictly to security matters and must be accounted for. Or no, there will be no excuse for not accounting for security votes because we know that there are state governors who appropriate to themselves, of course, through pliable state assemblies, which they appointed, not elected, up to 600 million a month as security vote, and they must withdraw this money, even when recurrent expenditures, even when salaries have not been paid, they must take their security, and this is not accounted for. Once in a while, they buy a few Hillock buses and give to the police and make a fanfare of it. Security vote must be accounted for. We're also saying immunity has to be removed on criminal matters. There's nobody who will be immune from criminal prosecution from president to anybody.
You know, that's wise?
Oh, sure, it is wise because that is the only thing that will make people in authority to act with circumspection instead of impunity.
People say that, that hasn't really had any effect whatsoever. People have left offices when they don't have immunity anymore. It seems like we lose interest in prosecuting.
No. The thing tied to that is this issue of plea bargain. You don't have to wait until somebody has stolen you dry with your life to prosecute the person. And he has more than enough money to even defend himself and buy his way through the justice system, which we all know is not the best, what we have as justice delivery, because I have been a victim of serial
if you think that, okay, at the end of the day, the immunity clause, you hope that, you'll be able to repeal it through an act of the National Assembly, of course, or through the National Assembly.
Yes.
How do you intend to deal with the courts then?
No, of course, there will be special. We have also said in this document that there will be special court for criminal matters. We are going to work with the judiciary to establish special courts for criminal matters.
Are you going to get new personnel?
But the real personnel to prosecute?
New personnel, I mean. Because it's people who say it's not the system, it's the people who make up the system.
When you have guidelines, rules, like what I am talking about now, that will make corrupt practice unattractive. Even the man sitting at the bench in the courts will also sit up knowing that everybody is watching everybody else. It's not when you say the person, the system will operate now, encourages corruption. There are many people that came into government. This is not a place to mention names. That came into government, they were seen to be so upright, they were even recruited from the best institutions abroad. But within a short time, they were sucked into the system, and now we are hearing their colleagues, their former colleagues, talking about a rip-off of trillions of naira from the offices of people who could have sworn will never have been involved. But the system has a way of corrupting those who come into it. And so we have to plug those holes from where our common treasury lives.
Well, I'm a little interested though.
Yeah.
Sorry, let me deviate a little. Your party insignia, is that a leopard or a tiger?
Oh, it's tiger. It's tiger.
I mean, because usually at rallies you see political parties carrying the insignia of their parties. What exactly does your mean? Does you have
tiger.
Yes.
Wonderful. The tiger is a very courageous, bold, protective cat. The tiger protects its environment. The same tiger caresses its cubs with its powerful jaw and canine. But when there's an intruder like corrupt people wanting to run down the Nigerian people, the tiger will tear them down without fear or favor.
So for you, is the thrust of your election campaign corruption, fighting corruption?
and insecurity. And then, of course, if you do not get these two right, every other thing you say will not work. But that's not where we are going to get limited. I'm still coming to something very unique in terms of security when we get there. So we must fight corruption to the hilt, and that is the only way we can have enough resources to do all of those lofty things we are talking about, job creation, even promoting agriculture, building infrastructures, having energy, power supply. If your resources are leaking, this country has enough, for instance, to make everybody comfortable, but not enough for greedy people.
Are you working with any of the political parties?
Not at the moment. We don't believe in pre-election alliances, so of course we are not into any merger. But we believe in post-election collaboration. It could be coalition, it could be an alliance, because what is trending in the world today is government of national unity, broad-based government. That is what you have in Britain, that's what you have in Israel, Germany, everywhere. So when after the election is, even President Jonathan is beginning to promote the idea of a broad-based government should he win. APC hasn't said what his attitude will be. If I win, like there was an upset in Greece just last month, where Alexis Tsipras came from behind to win the election, and he used a coalition of political parties to form government in Greece against every expectation, because while everybody was talking about austerity measure, he came with anti-austerity measure, which the people bought in, because the austerity measure over the years has not helped the people, and they felt it is the time to try another hand. And Alexis won just last month.
What would you do to empower the people economically?
Well, first of all, this country is not structured for economic growth. We must go straight to true federalism, where states as federating units will be encouraged to grow at their own pace. Every state in this country is endowed with resources which, when exploited, can have comparative advantage over the others. And so you have a healthy competition that will grow the economy.
How would you make that happen in specific terms?
In specific terms, we will, for instance, we will have a recommendation or some recommendations from the national conference that was just said that had not been implemented. We will quickly implement those recommendations, because they will help to open the space for growth. I've seen the recommendations. I agree with practically all of them. Then we will quickly reconvene another one, in which there will be no-go areas, in which, in fact, there will actually be my government will actually promote the inclusion of an exit clause.
But isn't that dangerous? There was a reason why that wasn't done for this particular elections.
This getting saying is dangerous, or being afraid of people exiting, is not the way to run it. In Ethiopia today, Ethiopia is calm and moving on, because after many years of ethnic clashes, they sat together and had a constitution in which there's an exit clause. But implicit in that is accommodation for everybody, where you feel part and parcel of the system. You don't feel that you are being suffocated in any way to the advantage of any other. And so no ethnic group in Ethiopia has opted for that option, because Ethiopia is okay for everybody. And those who are ruling are now more circumspect, in the sense that they know that the other person you are trying to cage in has options.
But we're not Ethiopians.
People
think that Nigerians are a special breed.
We are even more in a position to canvass for that than Ethiopia, because we have far more ethnic nationalities in this country than even Ethiopia. But aside of that, don't forget that just last year, Scotland wanted to opt out of England, because there was the clause for them to opt out. What did the United Kingdom do? Made more concessions to Scotland. Scotland now felt that they had better reason to be in a bigger United Kingdom than going out. And so they voted to remain. In Canada, every 10 years, the French-speaking people of Quebec will go for referendum to quit. But because Canada will continue to give them reasons to remain, majority of the people will say they will remain. And if you do the same in Nigeria, I can tell you, no one ethnic group will leave.
So which of
Because
those?
it's not easy. We have been together for a long time. It's not easy to cut the tie that has held us together for centuries. But the important thing is that government will now give everybody sense of belonging. Why do you think the Yorubas, the Igbos, the Sasa, the Middle Belt are asking for conference of ethnic nationalities? Why?